Hello and welcome back to my FPL channel. I of course am the FPL Train, and in this video I'm going to be revealing my final draft ahead of the Premier League season. Thank God for that, because tinkering with this team is just driving me insane. But so far I think I'm making progress. So as you can see already, there's 5 players there. I've also got my bench, but we'll talk about after. So we've got Robertson, Pedro Porro, Smith Rowe. We've also got Isak and we've got Erling Haaland. And the reason why I got those 5 players there is because definitely 4 of them will be in my team for game week 1. And they are going to be Haaland, Isak, Smith Rowe and Pedro Porro. Andy Robertson is the only one out of those 5 that I'm not sure about. It's either going to be Robertson or Van Dijk. It's just the minutes Robertson I'm just really not sure about. But obviously, if he does have a season like he did a couple of seasons ago, he could smash it. But for now, I'm still not sure. But I've got him at the minute. But don't be surprised next week if you see I've got Virgil or Van Dijk. But yeah, I've got those 5 on there because I'm pretty certain they will be in my team for game week 1. We've talked about Pedro Porro before. Awesome season last season. Good start to the season he's got coming up with Leicester and Everton. And he's going to be starting no matter what. Smith Rowe, I mean, look, he was quality a couple of seasons ago, like I mentioned before. You know, what was it, 21-22 season where he got those 10 goals and 2 assists. Can he do it for Fulham? I think he can. He's looked good in pre-season for Fulham so far, and Fulham's start to the season is really good. So it made sense to go for Smith Rowe, especially when he's only 5.5 million. And then obviously the 2 strikers I've got here, Isak, I mean, what a start to the season they've got in Southampton. Bournemouth, that looks good. And then I could not go for Erling Haaland. Yes, he's got Chelsea first game of the season, but he scored an hat-trick against them in pre-season. And Chelsea haven't looked good defensively in pre-season, so he could run them right. And then after that, they've got 3 nice fixtures. So yeah, makes sense to have those 5. And then on my bench as well. So I mentioned having Lumley before, Southampton's backup goalkeeper. I have no interest at the minute starting with 2 goalkeepers, so I'm just going to go for 1 starting goalkeeper and pay a little bit more. So that is why Lumley is in my team, so he'll be not playing for me at all. Barker, I mentioned him before, looks like I'm going to be starting with him. It looks like he will be starting for Brighton at the start of the season. Will he be in my starting lineup for the first 3 games? No, he won't. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, if he doesn't start in the first couple of games, I will be getting rid of him. But if he does start in all 3 games, Ipswich in game week 4, it just makes sense to have him starting. And he's only 4 million, so that would be a bonus there. And then, of course, Anthony Robinson is also somebody I've been going on about. This guy, I could not believe he didn't go up to 5 million. So I'm definitely going to be having him because I just like the look of Fulham's fixtures at the start of the season. And my final player on the bench, who I've not mentioned before, is Muniz of Fulham. So that is 3 Fulham players at the start of the season I'm looking at having. Now this one's not confirmed. I am debating whether to go for him or Pedro of Brighton, just because he's 0.5 million more, or sorry, cheaper. And that means if I do that, I can do something else, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. But yeah, Muniz was unbelievable last season. He got 9 goals, 2 assists. Nobody expected it at all. He's only 6 million. Now, the interesting thing is, would people be going for him if he was a little bit more, like 7 million, like 8 million? Like, oh, he's got to be essential. He was quality. Maybe because he's 6 million, people are a little bit hesitant to have him, and he does play for Fulham. But I reckon he can get off to a banging season. United aren't great defensively, but after that, the likes of Leicester and Ipswich coming up, it makes sense to go for him. But like I said, this one's not a confirmed one, but at the minute he's in there, but I could change it to Pedro from Brighton. So that is the only one I'll definitely change. But yeah, those are the most likely players that are going to be in my team ahead of match day 1. Obviously, it's just likes of Muniz, not sure about, and Robertson. The rest of them, definitely, I'm confident will be in my team. And so then let's go on about the rest of the team. Starting us off is my goalkeeper, and I've gone back to Martinez of Aston Villa. Now, previously, I did have Nick Pope of Newcastle. I've also had the likes of Pickford as well, who is somebody I'm also considering. So this one isn't still confirmed as of yet. The reason why I've took Pope out is, yes, the 2 fixtures are nice, but Spurs after that's not great. And then 5, 6, 7, I mean, it doesn't look great on paper, but I have to say the Man City one's probably the biggest put-off. I could still go for Pope, but Aston Villa, I mean, I'm going to say now, he's the only Aston Villa player I've got in my team at the moment. And the start of their season is great. Arsenal in game week 2 is going to be a difficult fixture, obviously. But apart from that, it looks great for the first 6-7 games for Aston Villa. So I wanted an Aston Villa player in my team, and Martinez is just an unreal goalkeeper. He's only 5 million. I thought it'd be 5.5, but he's not. He's only 5 million, and he's definitely somebody I'm seriously having for consideration about putting him. I've decided now it's either going to be Martinez or Pickford, and I'm just leaning towards Martinez just because Pickford burnt me so much last season. So that is what I'm thinking with my goalkeeping situation. And so that brings me on to my final defender that I haven't revealed yet, and that is Martinez of Man United. Again, this is a player that I'm not so sure about still having in my team or not, but Man United have just made 2 transfers. Well, I don't think they're confirmed yet, but it looks like they're going to be confirmed sooner rather than later. And that, I mean, they might have been revealed by the time I've done this video, but yeah, looks like they're going to sign 2 defensive players or 2 defenders, which will bolster Man United's defence. Martinez is an absolute unreal ball-playing defender. I absolutely love him at Man United. He's only 4.5 million, which is why I've taken a look at him. At first, I wasn't thinking about having him, but I just happened to capture him in the corner of my eye pretty much. And obviously, the first couple of fixtures for United aren't too bad. Liverpool and Game Week 3 is obviously a nightmare fixture, so he would be on my bench for that one anyway. But apart from that, it looks good for him. He's only 4.5 million, but he's not guaranteed to be in my team. There's other players I'm also thinking about bringing in. Now, I fancied the Liverpool defender, that's 4.5 million. He's something I've got my eye on. I've also got my eyes on the Crystal Palace centre-halves in Gueye or Anderson. Those are the ones, or even Konza. Now, if I went for Konza, that means I'd take out Martinez, if I'm being honest, and bring in Pickford and do it that way, because I don't want to double up, really. But yeah, at the minute, it's Martinez, but those are the plays that I'm thinking about, possibly, if it's not going to be him. But yeah, still a headache, that one, but for now, I'm going for Martinez, and I do like the look of him, if I'm being honest, especially, you know, the first 2 fixtures, but it's all dependent on how Man United play at the start of the season. You just don't know how they're going to be. Are they going to be amazing, or are they going to be rubbish? On to the rest of my midfielders then, and the 4 that I've also got alongside Smith Rowe are Saka of Arsenal, Diego Jota of Liverpool, Gibbs White of Forest, and Maddison of Spurs. Now, the biggest one to notice that I've not gone for is obviously there is no Mohamed Salah in this team, which was a big decision to make. Will he not be in my team for Game 1? I still don't know, if I'm being honest. But this is how my team is currently set up. Now, I will just say I have used all of my budget for this team. So I don't actually have any money in the bank. So this is the reason why I was on about Muniz earlier. So I've got Saka in my team, right? He's 10 million, right? I've said it throughout the whole summer, I want Cole Palmer in my team for Game Week 1. Now, the fact that Palmer's still not played any pre-season games, he's got Man City first game, it does put me off slightly. So I'm thinking Saka ahead of him just because they've got Wolves, and I fancy Saka doing better than Palmer in Game Week 1. Now, the difference is, of course, 0.5 million. So if I want Palmer and I sell Saka, I still need to find 0.5, which is where I was on about. I could either keep Muniz now or take him out alongside Saka, but that would probably mean I'd either take a -4 hit, or I wait until Game Week 3. But obviously the problem is with Game Week 2, I still got Aston Villa, which is not a nice fixture at all, and that's not really what I fancy. And you know, Muniz does have Leicester and Ipswich in 2 and 3, so I do like those fixtures. That is the biggest difficult headache I've got. I'm kind of open, Chelsea don't look good. They play a different kind of, style of play, and it doesn't suit Palmer, if I'm being honest. That's what I'm kind of open, just so I don't have to make that decision. But for now, I've got Saka. I like Saka for Game Week 1 against Wolves. He's on penalties half the time. He's an unbelievable player. I mean, I could easily drop him and go for Martin Odegaard. That is also another option to go for. But for now, I've got Saka, and I do like having Saka in. Diego Jota might be a surprise for some. I don't know. I mean, he's 8.5%, so quite a few more people than I expected want him. Now, this guy is frustrating, to say the least. He gets injured a lot. Hopefully, this season he doesn't. In pre-season, it looks like he could be starting as the central point for Liverpool and not Darwin Núñez. So this is why I've gone for Jota. It's also going to be a big gamble. It's a bit annoying though, isn't it, that Liverpool aren't playing the Friday, because that's kind of the biggest one I wanted to find out. What, formation, what team is he going to be setting out? What's his favourite starting lineup? Will it be Jota? Will it be Darwin Núñez, Gakpo? I don't know. But I'm just sliding towards it being Diego Jota. I might be wrong, and he might not play at all, or he might come on for 10 minutes, and that's it. That is the only worry with him. Whereas obviously I know Salah will definitely be starting. So it's a gamble considering Liverpool got Ipswich first game of the season, and realistically you want to have a guaranteed player to start. But I fancy the gamble. He's only 7.5 million, so he is, what, 5, 6? I can't remember how his salary is. Salah 12.5, isn't he? So that's 5 million cheaper than Salah. So that is, you know, a big difference. So that is why, that means I can put money elsewhere, and that is why I've gone for Jota instead. Morgan Gibbs White. Now this guy, he's only 6% owned right now, and the start of the season for Forest is insane. You know, right? So you're looking at Bournemouth, Southampton, Wolves. Yes, Liverpool's tricky. Then Brighton, Fulham, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Leicester, West Ham. That is a nice start to the season for Forest. So that is why I want Gibbs White. He's very attacking, obviously. He scores goals, takes penalties. Well, apart from if, you know, Chris Woods is on. But he was a bit disappointing with his goal score, and he only scored 5 goals last season like he did the season before. But again, he got 12 assists, so he does get a lot of assists, and this is probably the best time for him to get points. He's 6.5 million. Look, I could go for other players like at Man City, for example. Could go for Man United players, you know, Arsenal players, you know, maybe like Martinelli, for example. If let's say I went for Pedro as my striker, but yeah, I just fancy going different. I really like the look of Forest start to the season. And you know what? I may as well gamble. What's the point in going for the same team everybody else has got? Because it's just boring that way. So that is why I fancy going for the gamble and having Gibbs White in my team. And that finally leads me then on to James Maddison, my final midfielder in it. And I want a Spurs attacker. Can't afford Son with this team, but I want a Spurs attacker. I'm not sure about Solanke, whether he'll start in the first game. Well, James Maddison is a frustrating one for me, and honest. He kept getting subbed off early at the back end of last season. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. We all remember him at the start of last season, got off to a great start. Hopefully it happens again. Obviously the first game is a massive game for him personally against his former club. So that's going to be interesting, but I'm hoping he gets more minutes. I don't want him coming off after 60. That is the biggest issue I've got with him. But who else do I go for? Because I'm not sure who's going to start up front or in that what position they play. So obviously you have some probably on the left. You're going to have Solanke in the middle. Maybe Maddison is going to tuck him behind. Well, I reckon it. Well, I'm 9 times out of 10 confident he will. Who's going to play on the right side? Is it going to be Johnson? Is it going to be Kulusevski? Or even could it be Timo Werner? I haven't got a clue. There's so many options they've got. So I do think Maddison will start, and it is a gamble. But yeah, ideally I would have liked some. I just can't afford him. And so that is it. That is how my team is currently looking then ahead of the Premier League season. Like I said, at least I've got a few positions that I'm pretty confident in, but there are still so many questions that I have ahead of the start of the season. I can't tell you now that Salah won't be in my team for Game Week 1. I can't be confident on that. That is the big one. Obviously, that'll shake a lot of things up. But like I said, will I have Núñez? I'm still not sure. I'm confident of some players, but you know, those ones, what I want to do with Saka, I still don't know. And the Robertson one's a bit of a headache. But yeah, so many things to decide on. Let me know what your team is looking like for Game Week 1. And let me know what you think about my team ahead of Game Week 1. In terms of my captaincy, I probably will be leaning towards either Saka or Isak. Not sure which one just yet. I might just go for Saka ahead of Isak. Just because, you know, it's a midfielder, so you get extra points possibly. But we'll see. So yeah, let me know what you think of this team. Let me know what your teams are. Please as well, don't forget to like this video. Hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you all on the next one.